this, Jonesy, but he was actually trained by primetime Amy Lee, who is one of our favorite guests ever.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, dope stuff.
And
dope stuff.
You knew this, that Matt Tremont took somebody that was trained at Kirby Pro in the name of Maria Manick.
Okay.
And turned her into one of the most ruthless deathmatch female wrestlers around.
Well, dude, I can't wait to ask him about that, Jonesy. I can't wait. As women doing hardcore wrestling is something new. I'm still trying to get used to it as a father of two girls. But I'll tell you what, and I am a little concerned tonight because the champ will be in the house in just a few minutes. But, bro, I know you can't see me. And for those who don't know, we're not doing Facebook Live today. We're on the YouTube. So make sure you guys hit us up and show love on the YouTube, and make sure you guys are sharing so that everybody knows where we're at here tonight. But an Urlacher jersey, and I know my man Leo D is a big-time Green Bay Packer fan. So I'm not sure if he's going to walk in, see me, and then just walk right back out, or if we're going to be able to find some sort of common ground here today, bro. I'm not really sure. I guess we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Hey, Jonesy, you know what, bro? I'm getting ready to crack open a brewski. I encourage everybody in the Wrestle Talk podcast family to do the same thing, because you know what? It's time that we ask everybody to respectfully remove their caps, your hearts, as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth, and that's America, dang it.
Oh, say, can you see? And the rockets, red flag. Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. Oh.
A tear to my eye every single time. And you didn't even know about this, Renee, but we have a brand new song.
A new
will be debuted tonight, the break, and I think it's a song that you are really going to like. So,
all right. Well, you know, I'm always suspicious whenever you try to pull a rabbit out of the hat, Jonesy. But you know what? We've been doing this for 242 episodes, and I guess I have to learn to trust you. So we'll see what that is once we get to break. And you know what, bro? Before we get into the high segment, which I'm really excited about, bro, I have a little bit of an early shoot and shout, okay? And here's what it is, okay? Guys, like I said, it's springtime, okay? The winter is all but gone, okay, here in the Midwest. And I'm still seeing guys walking around looking scruffy. Their beards are not trimmed and tailored, okay? The hair's running up nearby their eyeballs and down their throat almost to their chest. Listen, the beard is in, and it's in year-round, but you got to keep it looking fresh. You got to keep it looking clean. And if you're having a hard time doing that, we got the remedy for you, ladies and gentlemen, because as you guys know, we have a new affiliate marketing program with Darko, okay, at WrestleTalkPodcast.com/merch booth. If you hate the New England Patriots the way everybody else in this country does, and you're sick of giving your money to Gillette, but you don't want to give up the quality, because I got to admit they make some pretty good razors, okay? Then switch over to Darko. Listen, they're cheaper, no contracts, they come straight to your house, and best of all, not one penny goes to the evil New England Patriots, nor does any of the money go to Robert Kraft so that he can go get massages down in South Florida, okay? It goes right here to the Wrestle Talk podcast, baby. It stays within the the independent wrestling community overall. So make sure you guys hit us up at the merch booth at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. That's my little bit of early of a shoot and shout. I'll have one a little bit later. But you know what, Jonesy? Enough of that. It is time to get the callers on the line. The number is 657-383-1521. Again, that's 657-383-1521 as we queue up tonight's edition of the High Spot segment. Intern Timmy, hit the music.
Earth rings, we have now taken over your radio.
Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. If you hit 'em low, hit 'em low, hit 'em low.
Just the hole. The ain't got no game. I'm breaking your hot frame coming through like a train. Not gonna take over the
goodness, high spots. What can we talk about high spots? I think that the first thing that we should talk about is the new wrestling documentary show on the channel Vice Network.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, Renee?
Yes, I know that we were talking about that, man. This is a real in-depth look to the dark side of pro wrestling. I think they've done something like this before. The Wrestler was kind of a movie that gave you a little bit of that feel, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about it, Jonesy?
Oh my goodness! The first episode that they actually came out with episode 3 first for some reason, and I think it's because it was a completely interesting story. It is about the murder of Bruiser Brody, and Bruiser Brody was like one of the biggest wrestlers around in like the 1960s, 1970s, and this dude was wrestling in Puerto Rico against Abdullah the Butcher and Carlos Colon and Savio Vega, and he ended up getting stabbed by a guy by the name of Jose Gonzalez, who wrestled under the name Invader Number 1. And this documentary told the entire story of what happened. They had interviews with people that were there, like Tony Atlas, Abdullah the Butcher, Dutch Mantel. I mean, it was a incredibly fabulous story. And I believe I sent you a link to the YouTube on your Facebook page. So you should definitely check it out. Check out your messenger, and there should be a link to the entire episode on YouTube.
Well, you know what? That's great. And thank you for letting us know where we can watch that, Jonesy. I'll tell you what, man, here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, we're always striving to shed a positive light on the world of pro wrestling, despite all the negativity. I mean, all you got to do is go to Twitter and just follow that, or go to IG or go to Facebook. And about half the time, dude, here's the crazy thing. And we want to encourage the callers to dial in. Again, that number is 657-383-1521. We want to talk about anything in the world of pro wrestling with you for about the next 20 minutes before we're joined by our homeboy, the double champ. I nicknamed him Leo Two Belts. That's not very original, but I think it sounds so good. And we'll ask him if he likes it here in just a few minutes. But Jonesy, like I was saying, we like to shed a positive light amongst all the negativity. And what's crazy is that this wrestler on wrestler crime and hate is nothing new. I mean, you've seen it back to this Bruiser Brody story. And even today, bro, you don't have to look very far to hear and see one wrestler burying another wrestler, disrespecting another wrestler, and then putting LOL on the back of it to try to play it off like it's some sort of joke. Okay? It doesn't matter if you're talking Kansas, Missouri, Southern Illinois, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, all the areas where the Wrestle Talk podcast is heard on a fairly sizable scale. We see it no matter where, bro, dating back to the Cubby Bro stuff and the NWL stuff. And I mean, dude, it's just insane. And it's very frustrating because what happens, it overshadows a lot of the dope shit that's going on in pro wrestling today. It takes up so much of the airwave time, like it is right now, that sometimes we don't even get to some of the cool stuff that's going on. I mean, even last week we were talking about, we're not sure if this is going to happen. And I don't like what they did with that. I'm like, dude, nobody's talking about AAA having their first show ever at Madison Square Garden in September. Like, we haven't talked about that. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about how awesome the G1 Supercard was. We're bitching about who won the title. It's like, it's insane. And it's very frustrating, bro. It's very frustrating because there's so much awesome stuff going on in pro wrestling. You know what I mean, Joe?
I do. I do know exactly what you mean. And then I would say one other thing about wrestling in Puerto Rico, and then I'm going to switch to the G1 Supercard, because there is something but absolutely crazy. They would smuggle in rocks in their like drinks, and you would go out to the ring, and you were getting pinged with like rocks and bottles and everything else. Like, I mean, it was absolutely crazy. But yeah, the wrestling scene in Puerto Rico is definitely a lot different now. It's not as violent as it used to be. Like, you don't get hit with like rocks and stuff. But yeah. So
Well,
definitely check it out.
Listen, Jonesy, real quick, let me just say this. I wholeheartedly agree, because our friend from SICW, former Missouri Wrestling Revival, the Missouri champion, Ricky Cruz, is currently on a tour in Mexico, and he absolutely loves it. And then a mutual friend of ours with Leo D, who will be here in about 15 minutes or so, Chief Atacula makes trips down to Puerto Rico all the time, man. The Chief, a lot of people respect that dude. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, how do you carry yourself when you're in a new territory? Are you humble? Are you acting like you're the man right off the bat and giving guys this kind of impression that you don't need to necessarily pay dues when you come into the territory? What I'm learning, especially from guys that go to a good training facility like the Extreme Wrestling Center, is it's about the professionalism, right? You could be the most talented guy, whether it be on the mic, Enzo Amore, or in the ring, I don't know, somebody who recently got let go, even though he was super talented in the ring. A name is escaping me. My point is, Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10. If you don't carry yourself the right way and you don't play the politics, you're not going to get an opportunity. And it's a shame, right? Because sometimes one bad impression is enough to get you kicked out and never looked at again. So let's just hope that guys are learning from a good place. They're getting good advice, good instruction, good training, so that when they go to these other places, they don't get rejected or even worse, hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, I don't know. I haven't seen the documentary yet, but I do remember hearing Jay Hollywood interview Barbara Goodish, who is Bruiser Brody's late wife. And she said that hold on a second, photo op. She said that he was one of the most respectful guys in the world. And even like that, he ended up, passing away under some pretty dire circumstances. So anywho, let's transition to something else, Jonesy. I just want to make sure that people understand that no matter what you're doing, whether it be personal, professional, as a worker in professional wrestling, you got to carry yourself with a certain amount of dignity and humility. If not, things can go south very, very quickly. What do you want to hit on next, bro?
So I wanted to actually talk about the G1 summit that happened during the weekend of WrestleMania, and you got a new IWGP heavyweight champion. Switchblade got beat. My boy Switchblade. He ended up losing, but I think that the thing that caught my eye is the Gorillas of Destiny. I know you know who the Gorillas of Destiny are.
Oh, of course, bro. We were just talking to Jonesy. We were just talking to Jay Will, right? Who, crazy story. So Josiah Williams comes on the show last week or the week before Mania, does an outstanding interview with us, right? From Wrestle and Flow, the kid that raps, and you guys know that kid, right? So 3 days later, he signs with the WWE, son. And I don't know if you guys know this, but he did shout us out on his Instagram the day after he got signed. He thanked us for having him on the show, because I figured he probably knew it was the last time he's ever going to be on the show, because we can't ever get no WWE people out here. But it's okay. We'll be all right. Man, blessings to Jay Will, bro. Can you believe it, Jonesy? 3 days after coming on the Wrestle Talk podcast, man, he got signed with WWE. Is that freaking awesome or what? And he did that Gorillas of Destiny song.
Yes. So 3 days after the so the Gorillas of Destiny, they were in a tag team match with the Briscoe brothers and another tag team for the New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships, as well as the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And the Gorillas of Destiny ended up winning, and they have done nothing but trash Ring of Honor. I know that exactly what I'm talking about. They come in there, they grab the Ring of Honor Champions Tag Team Championship belt. Throw it up against the wall. They say, get that piece of shit out of here. And I was like, wow.
Well, little known fact, Bad Boy Tama Tonga is probably one of my favorite guys in pro wrestling. He's like Roman Reigns without the reigns. Okay. Poor pun, but a pun nonetheless. Okay. What I'm saying is this dude has got the look. He's got the mic skill. He's got the in-ring ability. And the most important thing of all is he's got the freedom to do what he feels is going to get him and the story, most importantly, over in whatever feud he's in, whether it be against the company, another faction, a one-on-one thing. Dude, I love the stuff that they've been doing. Now, the traditionalists will say, hey, you never treat the belt like that. You never treat the belt like that. Well, yeah, but some of the most memorable angles in wrestling history involve wrestling belts getting defamed. Think about Alundra Blaze throwing the women's championship in the trash when she first appeared in WCW. Think of Stone Cold Steve Austin throwing the World Heavyweight Championship over the bridge and into the water when The Rock had it or something. I mean, there's stuff like this that's happened in pro wrestling for so long, and it's always so memorable that I'm happy that they're doing it, and they couldn't be in a better place to do it between Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, bro. The amount of freedom that these guys are given to just create, it would suck anybody. And I mean, think about it, bro. Jericho probably had the best contract in wrestling history with WWE. He could go work somewhere else, come back, do music, come back again, do a movie, then come back again and do another. But dude, he gave that up. Why? Because when he was in WWE, as great as his gimmicks always were, all the way up to the list, it wasn't 100% him. There was always somebody going, yeah, you can do that. No, you can't do that. Ultimately, somebody had to sign off on it. And that person was either Vince or whoever it is that's running stuff backstage. But now with the New Japans, the AEWs, and even on a smaller scales, you know, the KCXWs, the AAWs, the Major League Wrestlings, like these guys truly get opportunities to create. And I actually was listening to a live by a guy who wrestles for the KWA. His name was Kato. And he was saying, somebody asked him, he's like, hey, man, if they gave you $1 million, would you sign with the WWE? And without hesitation, he was like, nah, because even if I was rich, I couldn't be who I am. And I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. Maybe that's changing. They let AJ Styles stay AJ Styles. Maybe things are going to start moving in that direction a little bit more. But that's always been people's hesitation, Nightmare, where they're like, you know what? Am I willing to sell my soul or for money and for recognition, or am I going to stay true to myself? And the more companies that come around and the more opportunities that present themselves, these guys are not being made to choose anymore. These guys are having a little bit more of a say in who they are and how their characters and personas are treated, because ultimately they got to live with that. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. That kudos to the promoters who are progressive enough to understand that you can't bend every character to your liking and expect that person to always be happy just because you're giving them an opportunity. Like, they stand in front of the mirror all day. They're driving in their car, thinking of these personas, thinking of these lines, thinking of the stuff that they want to do. And then they show up to the show and the promoter's like, yeah, I kind of need you to be a bad guy today. Sorry. Like, you know, the guys do it. Right? Oh, shit. The guys do it. Don't get me wrong, because they're professionals. But what's the staying power there? It's temporary. You can't get a guy to become something else overnight, especially if he or she is not passionate about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, speaking about the WWE, there have been quite a few things happening in the WWE. Alexander Wolf from Sanity has requested his release from the WWE. Luke Harper has requested his release from the WWE, and you know, even Sasha Banks is thinking about stepping away from the WWE. And you know, my thing is this: it's not a knock towards any of those. The WWE is a company; it's a job, and if you're not happy where you're working at, then you need to look for other jobs. And regardless if Sasha Banks has won, the women's championship multiple times, was the first ever, where it was in the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match, was the one of the first ever women tag team champions. If she's not happy, why should she stay in the WWE? If she's not happy with the direction that they have her character, and with Alexander Wolf, they weren't really using Sanity that much, and Luke Harper was constantly injured. So are they going to go to AEW? Probably not, because let's be honest, not everybody is going to go to AEW, or they're going to have the same issues that the WWE has. I think that the main issue that the WWE has is they have so many people that they don't know what to do with them. Like No Way Jose, a phenomenal wrestler. When's the last time that you saw them really do anything with No Way Jose?
Not recently. At least not anything of significance that helps build him. Like, he might have been out there to interrupt or something, but it's never really been anything that I think he can sink his teeth into and be excited going into the next week. It's almost like guys that get brought into shows from the local area. They come in, they play the security guard or whatever, and then they're gone. And you never hear or see from them again. So, yeah, it's a little tough to get behind a guy when they're being used that way. Now, at the same time, I will say this, a little bit of a life lesson here. I understand the whole not being happy thing, but guys, let's remember, at the end of the day, these guys are at their dream what? Their dream job. It's still a job, okay? So they're not always going to book you the way you want to be booked. Look, there's lots of guys, especially here in my area, Jonesy, I know you could probably relate to this, that for maybe a year and a half, the promotion that they were working for maybe wasn't really using them to their full potential. You kind of looked at a guy and you were like, man, why isn't he in the main event? But, it's a progressive thing. You can't force it. I'm going to use our next guest, the OD, that's coming on here in about less than 5 minutes. He was a guy that early on was just kind of treading water, doing what he could to keep himself relevant so that the fans knew who he was. And now 3 or 4 years into his career with KCX, now the man is holding gold. And not only is he holding gold, he got to become the first ever Metropolitan champion for KCXW. So there's something to be said about being mature and being patient and waiting your turn. And that should always happen if you believe in the promotion that you're working for. You shouldn't always just jump up and down and go, oh, it's my turn, it's my turn. If you believe in the people that are writing and the people that are booking and the people that are in charge, then sometimes it's worth being patient. And as far as I'm concerned, Sasha Banks can be as mad as she wants. And we don't know if this is true or not. These are all rumors, okay? But, dude, you got to fight in a WrestleMania for the 3rd year in a row. Yeah, you lost. But so what? You got to be the first ever women's champion. Like, seriously. Cut it out. Plus, it helps build the whole thing with her losing the belt every time, right? Like, that's a running narrative with Sasha. She always loses on the first title defense. So at some point, if they run with it, there's going to be a huge payoff for her during a championship run where she's able to retain against all odds, especially because of this narrative that they built, whether it was intentional or not intentional. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, have they had her lose every single time she defended on purpose? Or is it just the way that things are falling? I don't know. But ultimately, if she waits, that payoff will be there as long as she trusts the people that are doing the writing and booking. I don't know. I'm not that far inside to be able to tell you from an outsider's perspective. I would say, Sasha, tranquila. That means, cien almas, right? Tranquila. Wait a minute. Calm down. Hold your horses. Whoa. And this is, okay, never mind. I'm not going to make a horsehair joke. But the bottom line is, sometimes you got to be patient, bro. Not only in pro wrestling, but in life. And I think she should just calm down and wait for something else to come around, because eventually she's going to end up back on top because of how incredibly talented she is.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree with you 100%. And as we wait for Leo D, I almost forgot this, and I can't believe I almost forgot this. But yesterday was a very, very, very important day, Renee. Do you know what yesterday was?
Wasn't it Daniel Grimm, his 122nd day as FWWC United States Champion, where he broke your record? Is that what yesterday was?
It was that, but something even more important than that happened yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was the birthday of the greatest person that we have ever had come on to the Wrestle Talk podcast, and that is the one, the only Rick Maverick. So, Rick Maverick, if you're listening, I know you are. Happy belated birthday, so from the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Renee. We both hope that you had the greatest day that you could have had yesterday, and that you drunk lots of beers, and hopefully you didn't have to knuckle anybody up yesterday.
Wait a minute.
Happy belated birthday.
Wait a minute. So you're celebrating a guy whose only championship run involved two other guys jumping another guy in order for him to be able to come in and get the pin? Are you serious right now?
Did he win?
I mean, technically, yes, but in the most underhanded, despicable way you could ever win.
Hey, the late, great Eddie Guerrero, you have to lie, cheat, and steal.
Oh, geez, Louise Jonesy, we're not talking about your taxes, dude. We're talking about a competitive sport where everybody should always make an effort to be open and honest and do things the right way. I mean, come on, you can't celebrate somebody like that. What's wrong with you, Jonesy?
He won his match. He became the champion, and that's all the matter. Do we have Leo D yet?
Well, we do have Leo D, but I just wanted to get the thoughts real quick of the Wrestle Talk podcast family about you putting over Rick Maverick. Let's hear from the fans. Terrible. Just not even terrible, bro. Since it's NBA playoff season, that's terrible, in the words of Charles Barkley. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, enough of our shenanigans. You know what? You're going to have to hit that gong on your way in. After the music, though. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to welcome back a beloved and appraised member of the Wrestle Talk family, a man who is walking in about 20 pounds heavier than he was last time. And no, it's not because he started eating Oreos and subscribing to the Night Owl's diet. No, it's because he's walking in not with one, but two brand new championships. That's right. He's representing the state of Kansas, repping the KWA with the XWE United Liberty Championship. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, ladies and gentlemen, your first ever KCXW Metro champion, the People's Prince, Leo D.
Okay, Renee.
What?
I'm gonna have to have you redo that with more energy.
What? Are you serious right now? Okay, hold on. All right. Let me I want to try this. Ladies and gentlemen, your current XWE United Liberty Champion and the first ever KCXW Metropolitan Champion, the People's Prince, Leo D. Hit the gong, baby. After the music. That thing is the greatest. I'm in a bad mood, bro, and I just hit that shit and it puts a big smile on my face. I already touched it. And it's a legit gong, too, bro. I think those are like a instrumental version. Yeah, I got it from my game. The office and just sit back. This little guest, too. Let's hit the gong! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Leo 2 belts. Oh, my man, Leo D.
You got room for both of these?
No, dog, you're looking too tall right now. I need to, like,
Sorry.
My posture is bad.
let me get.
Yeah,
let me
slide over a little bit. Slide over.
These.
You want to get rid of them?
Let me go ahead and set these down.
All right, put them down and we'll talk about them individually. How about that?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
I got a little table right there. You set it right there. Yeah, you're good right there.
Ah,
We wouldn't want to put them on the floor or nothing.
of course not.
Of course not. Of course not.
Respect.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leo D.
Where's my hard cam?
All right, real quick, right there. Say what's up to the people. Say
What's up, people?
We're
First
on
off,
YouTube.
That's garbage. But
What? You mean the Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher?
No, Brian Urlacher's nice, but that's garbage.
What are you talking about, bro?
That.
All right. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in just a minute. Jonesy, say what's up to Leo,
What's up,
man.
Jonesy?
What's going on, man? How you doing, stuff?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, man? It's been a minute.
I am doing good. The weather is great in West Virginia. The Space Cadet beer is flowing, and we are talking to Leo Two Belt.
Leo Two Belts.
I mean, I know it's not super original, bro, but like in between you and me, and Jonesy, you jump in whenever you want to. Between you and me, I remember what I think was your first match ever, right?
Oh, geez.
Right. And I grew up on the East Coast, so I've got a special place in my heart for the Italians.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I seen you for the very first time, kind of like throwing that Italian vibe out there, I was like, whoa, almost one of my people here. And now everybody knows I'm a Chico, from Mexico, represent 100%. But because of where I grew up, I always kind of had a soft place in my heart. And I was like, wow. I was like, there's Italians in Kansas City.
Right.
Come to find out, it's got a rich Italian history down in Columbus Park, right? Now I'm coming to find out. But when we first met, man, and you're still young, but you were much younger, okay, about 40 years ago, and you were just starting to evolve into what we know today as Leo Two Belts, okay? Now, back then, I think you were coming from a little bit of a gymnastics background, a cheerleading background.
Yes,
that served you really well up to this point, man. But truthfully, where I want to start is with what you heard us talk about a little bit earlier. And you know how we are here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, bro. We keep it 100 and for Rizzy all the time, okay?
Always.
So you're a guy who was trained by who I think is one of the most professional of professionals, David Catton, amongst others, okay? So what can you say pertaining to our conversation a little bit earlier about professionalism and walking in with that humble attitude? Because you've worked for now well over 10, 15, maybe even 20 promotions to date.
Let's go ahead and just pull up the calendar real quick.
All right, what do you got?
Let's go ahead and pull up the calendar.
All right, what do you got?
See, this red is wrestling right here, right?
Okay.
This is where we are today.
It's a lot of red, homie.
That's 1 month. That's 2 months. That's 3 months.
Okay.
4 months straight. 5 months.
So you're booked basically through the summer.
Basically through the year.
Okay.
With that said, that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for David Catton. It wasn't for the XWC Extreme Wrestling Center, because one thing we value more than anything else is professionalism. You walk in, you get in the room,
shake a hand, look a man in the eye.
Man in the eyes. You say, you announce who you are. Say, how can I help? And with that said, there are guys, like you going back to your earlier conversation, there are guys, girls, people that'll walk into a locker room and think that they just run shit.
I've seen it.
Whether how talented they are or not. And talent is talent. If you have it, awesome. If you don't, awesome. You don't necessarily 100% need talent.
Right.
As long as the way you handle yourself.
Yep.
But with that said, if you have talent and you have professionalism, you get a full count.
Yeah, exactly. That's well said. And Jonesy, you living up on the upper East Coast, you probably run into this maybe even a little bit more than we do. Can you tell us maybe a quick story about some issues that you might have seen with guys in your area that maybe felt like they were a little bit bigger than the locker room, and how those things end up working out? Because I think it's important, especially since we do have so many young wrestlers that listen to the Wrestle Talk podcast, why it's important to carry yourself the right way. Because clearly when you do that, like our boy Leo D here, many, many good things can happen for you.
Absolutely. And being in the professional wrestling business, the one thing that drives me crazy, and this is when you go to shake, you're in the back and you go to shake the wrestler's hand, and they give you the 2-finger shake. Have you ever heard of the 2-finger handshake, Renee? They just literally give you 2 fingers, and it's like the least amount of pressure you can imagine. To me, that is like one of the most disrespectful things. then you go to the back and you're shaking everybody's hand. You look them in the eyes and you shake the hands. You don't give them a 2-finger shake. You give them a handshake. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
My love. I know what you're talking about. It sounds something. It sounds something like this. I'm telling you, bro, it drives me crazy. Not only in pro wrestling, but like in my personal life. It's like, dude, if you don't have the energy to shake my hand, then don't. You know what I mean? And Leo said it. You know what I mean? It's so important to walk in with your head, not necessarily, not your nose up, right? But your head up, and making sure you're being respectful to everybody, because you never know who you're shaking hands with. And I know not only is that something that's very important to David Catton, but also one of the newer trainers in Derek Stone.
Oh, yes.
Derek is huge on that. And I've only dealt with him from like a fan to a wrestler perspective. And we've had very brief conversations whenever I've gone to the XWC training center just to talk to, you know, the bosses or whatever it is. But it's always like very, very consistent with him, where he's talking to guys about, hey, make sure you do this the right way. Make sure you do that the right way. And I think that's the culture that needs to continue to be bred, not necessarily like in front of the cameras, because disrespect and low blows and things like that are kind of like the flavor of the day, right? Like we were talking about with Bad Boy Tamatanga, but behind the scenes where it really counts is where that needs to happen. And it needs to happen every single time you step into a locker room or whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
And I'll say this is a fun little story about Mr. Derek Stone. First off, that man has forgotten more about wrestling than either one of us will ever know.
Right.
So kudos.
And
to
he's
Derek
stronger
Stone.
than you and I put together too. So
And 3 other people probably.
Right.
But, so it's funny because if you see Derek Stone, you don't know who he is. He's not the type of guy that'll be up there and just stand amongst everybody else.
Super
and
low-key
looking
dude.
for it. He's very much just gonna stay in his bubble if he can. And it's hard because he's Derek Stone. But people that don't recognize Derek Stone, I see them and they'll just kind of meander and think he's just a big old caveman looking dude.
Kind of is a big old caveman looking dude.
And they won't really acknowledge him. And it's kind of like, you don't realize how much you're putting yourself down right there by not going and seeking out this man. Because like I said, that man has so much wrestling knowledge, and I'm so thankful that I've got to pick his brain. More so the last couple months, specifically, I get to ride in the car with him down to WLW here and there. But get to pick his brain and just new look on wrestling, because we all love wrestling. Wrestling offers everybody something. But the thing about wrestling is not everybody loves the same things of wrestling.
Which is awesome now that we have so much variety.
Exactly. So it's fun picking apart your old school brains, your new school brains, your hardcore heads, just everybody, just getting everybody's little piece. And Derek has a little bit of all of it.
He does.
And it's beautiful.
And a lot of people don't know this. Like, this dude has trained your favorite wrestler. Yeah. Like, whether it's Jeremy Wyatt or whoever. I mean, like, this dude has worked with the upper echelon on every level, all the way up to the WWE. People don't know he's had several stints up there, and there's a reason for that. So much credit, not just to Derek Stone, but really the XWE for having a great stable of trainers, which now, from what I understand, occasionally you even kind of put that cap on a little bit, right? Tell us about that.
Most Friday nights get a little Leo action in XWC. So
settle down, ladies. Not that kind of action. Not that kind of action. Calm down now.
No time for that. No, but yeah, it's I like to look at myself more like you kind of touched on. Either I got the gymnastics, cheerleading background, so I like to think I know how to fall a little bit better than most people, aka bump for you.
Everybody who's watching this knows what a bump is, so you don't have to. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But with that said, I've never been one to shy away, even from night 1 in the training center.
Okay.
I was doing back body drops. Like, I've never been afraid to fall. Never been afraid to do anything. So with that said, I kind of ease students that are maybe newer and or a little more scared into bumping, or teaching them how to fall safely so they don't get hurt, doing all that, talking my hands. Sorry. Yeah.
You know what that's called?
What is it called?
And I'm a little bit of a nerd, as you know, because I don't have the looks, so I got to be smart. It's called gesticulation. And Italians and Mexicans do it more than anybody else. What are you talking about? Hey, what are you talking? All right, so
anyways, yeah. So yes, Friday nights, XWC. I am honored and privileged to be a D trainer on Friday nights. And like I said, I like to get a little bumpy at practice. So some guys don't like it as much because they fall a lot more than usual. But then we've got the technical aspect of Adam Jew device, who's in there. Gets into one of the best chain wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. You may know him as Captain Shabam.
I know, dude, and he's been in quite a few main events and surprised everybody in the building every time he steps in the ring.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Unbelievable. Then obviously the complete, just well-rounded, crazy amounts of knowledge. David Catton is our head trainer.
Okay, I gotta ask. Okay, wait. So here's where you might get in trouble. So be smart.
No.
Be smart. Hold on. Okay.
No trouble.
So the one knock on David, aside from what we talked about last time, the history and all that. So screw that. We already talked about that last time.
Yeah, go ahead and rewatch that. I got a little passionate about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, you were on fire, and I even clipped that and put it up there. I was like, "This is what a passionate guy sounds like." Yeah, baby. But anyway, the gear.
The gear.
What the hell?
The gear. Jordan Smiley, I hope you're watching.
I know.
If I'm gonna get
shit all the time.
If I'm gonna get heat with anybody,
blame me.
It's gonna be Jordan Smiley. I missed the kitty cat.
I missed
the cat singlet.
Okay, shorts or no shorts?
Shorts.
Shorts?
Shorts.
Okay.
The athlete. When he throws that super kick, the way only David can. Exactly. You got the shorts and just
very few people that get it up that high.
Right?
Yeah.
It's me in the forehead. I don't get it.
I've seen it.
But yeah, I missed the cat singlet. I missed the shorts. But I get what he's going for. He's going for the more shooter style because, again, going back to the technical aspect that XWC offers, I wouldn't put money on anybody to outshane with David Catton.
Nope.
And especially his new tag team partner.
Yeah, him and Marksman together. Are you kidding right
now? Yeah.
Power, speed, agility, and brains when you
yes.
you put Corpel into the mix there.
Yes, exactly.
It's pretty dope to watch.
Exactly.
It is
between all three of them, they've got 2.5 brains. So, I mean, no, I'm kidding.
No. Hold on. So let's go back to the bumpy Fridays, right?
Yes.
So a long time ago, somebody was like, all right, dude, you're like 6 and some change. You're pretty big before I got this big. And they're like, yo, you should definitely do it. Yeah. And I'm like, well, here's the thing, dude. Like I would. And there's 2 things that stop me. Number one, the chop thing. No. Having the Latino heat, bro, I just don't know if I could restrain myself from choking Nick if he actually started chopping me for real. And number 2, you know how you were talking about like, you know, the back of the head and the bumps and stuff like that. The truth is, bro, you know how like babies got that real soft spot in their head? Yeah, mine never hardened up. So, I'm, what am I supposed to do? I ain't trying to.
Well, in a perfect world, I mean, the head shouldn't touch.
I just tuck. You know, the problem is when I tuck, bro, instead of having 3 chins, I got like 8 chins. It's like 8 chins. You know, I look like Professor Clump. Oh, hey Jonesy, why don't you jump in here, man, with the with Leo 2 belts, man. The of course the XWE United Liberty champ, and then of course the Metro champ. And then we're gonna go ahead and show y'all this belt for a few minutes while Jonesy gets his questions out of the way. Jonesy, jump on in here, baby.
Absolutely. So when I was doing my research, I found out that you were a member of the Stranglers in the season.
Oh,
gee, going way back.
Well,
Can you explain to the rest of the family what exactly the Stranglers were?
Oh, all right. Wow, take me back a few years, Jonesy. The original Stranglers, OG, back when Renee was talking about 3.5, 4 years ago, was the OG, one of the teams in the original Season of Excellence. The original Stranglers were led by Kyle King, very well-known name.
Yeah, boy.
Shout out Kyle King.
Yeah, dude, MEW heavyweight champ.
Yep.
And I think he's the champ for XWE heavyweight champ. Yeah. Another double champ.
Yep, champ.
Kyle 2 belts.
He might actually be champ.
Champ.
Lots of belts.
Because he goes to Canada and all this stuff all the time.
Anyways, shout out Kyle King. Mixed with Malico, 27th. Big title match. Be there.
Okay. Confession. That's going to be my first XWE show.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been invited by Billy himself to sit in, and you know we're gonna maybe.
Now I gotta say is you're gonna love that venue.
I cannot wait. Does it have air conditioning?
It does.
Woo, baby! All right, I'm in. Count me in.
Okay,
go ahead.
Back to the question. Original Stranglers, KCXW original Season 1, Season of Excellence, was led by Kyle King. First draft pick, the Marksman.
Not a bad choice.
Second draft pick, Kurt Gannon.
Not a bad choice.
Third draft pick, myself. And fourth draft pick, at the time, our homeboy known as the Surgeon, a.k.a. El Campeon.
El Campeon!
El Campeon C.
I miss him so much.
Oh, me too, man.
Caesar's the man.
I love Cesar so much. Anyway, so that was our team. We were the OG Stranglers. Throughout the year, we had some people have some political issues. We'll leave it at that. By the end of the season, it was myself, who I had to fight back for my spot, Jay Savage.
I remember when you came back.
Yes.
That's when you came back from the Monster Factory.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
Kurt Gannon had his political differences. He was gone. And it was Kyle, me, Dan, Jay Savage, El Campeon. And we actually got to hold up the original Season of Excellence Championship as well. So, fun fact for stat guys out there for KCXW, not only am I the first ever Kansas City Metro champion, I am also the only 2-time Season of Excellence champion winner with the Bruisers.
Because you switched to the Bruisers.
Yep. But results.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have enough time today to get through that, but that was a little weird.
No, not needed.
All right, go ahead, Jonesy. What else you got?
I keep hearing this Kansas City Metro Championship, and what exactly is the Kansas City Metro Championship, and how much does it mean to you to be the first ever Kansas City Metro champion?
Well, first off, Jonesy, if you can go ahead and peep this belt right here, that's a gorgeous belt.
And by the way, because people are wondering, because usually whenever we do the Facebook Live, it's like 60 to 100, and now we're like at 2. We're switching to YouTube. I'm sick of Facebook, and you'll hear about that in my shoot and shout.
No worries.
But the folks will see it because it'll come through in high definition on YouTube.
Ooh.
Yes, 1080p versus 720. What's up, Facebook? I mean, come on.
But
All the riches. Never mind.
It represents both Kansas and it represents Missouri over here. And the Kansas City Metropolitan Championship. Metropolitan would have been really small font, so I like the bigger font than Metro.
It's easier to hashtag Metro Champ.
It is. And honestly, with all of the just insane depth of talent in Kansas City Extreme Wrestling, the board of directors found it as a way to say, why do we only have one singles title with all of this great talent? We need to emphasize our talent. We need to emphasize everything more. And with our great heavyweight champion, Shadow Shannon Reed, holding that belt down, he's hard to beat for that belt. So at the same time, it was kind of not necessarily a mid-card belt, because it's not a mid-card belt, much like the IC title, the US title. It's a second belt, how to look at it, as a second championship. So I'm going to do my best to put prestige on this bad boy and have him thinking of it even, sorry, Shannon, more prestigious than your belt, because that's the goal. That's what we want to do.
Well, let me explain it this way. In my opinion, being the guy who does the commentary for KCSW, again, my apologies for missing the last show. My regular job, whatever. The bosses know that's what matters. Yeah, shout out. Oh, whoa. Okay. We can do a half hour on that.
I can do 3 weeks on that.
I know. We'll get there. We'll talk to Marty about Marty the Moth and all that. But so this championship is one of the most overdue championships probably in Midwest wrestling history. And what I mean is, we're 5 years into it. Yep. You've seen probably well over 20 guys come out of the center to have success in other promotions, starting with the Twins up in AAW and some of the stuff they're doing. Yeah. And then you think about Gannon becoming champion pretty much everywhere he goes. With you, Sarge, when he was still with, he became a champion along with Deacon. And, so there's a long list of guys that have come out of there that never got the chance to hold gold because there was just one belt.
There's one belt.
Right. So not that there's two different brands like with WWE, but there's more than enough room for 2 championships. So in my opinion, it's almost not like a world heavyweight intercontinental, like you said. I think it's more of a universal world heavyweight kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? And one day, and I know you faced Shannon before, you guys have had your ups and downs against each other, right? Yeah. One day, maybe Campeon versus Campeon.
Maybe.
I don't know, maybe towards the end of the year, that's when TakeOver
There's kind of a huge show coming up in November. I know it's our big
I've heard.
Our WrestleMania show. So
I've heard. Tune in. The one DVD that when listen to me, they be getting mad at me, bro. You already know. The one DVD with Dijak and Marksman, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Your boy got to do the commentary on that, bro. That is the greatest opportunity I've ever had, and you were on it.
I was on that.
Oh, that was so good.
Was that my Savage match?
Yeah, that's the one you came back and you had that match again. Yeah,
I've been in that match. I'm in that card twice actually.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And that's when we were still downtown on 13th and Main, Alamo Draft House. That was such a great place.
Love that place.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Jonesy. I hate to keep jumping in, but we got so much to hit, man.
I just have one more question, and it's something where I'm going to say something, and I want Leo D's reaction to this name I'm going to say.
Uh-oh.
What comes to your mind? I say the name Kit Weaver.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh!
Let me go ahead and switch belts real quick.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Joey Styles even had to chime in on that one.
Oh.
All right, go ahead, bro. Lay it on us.
Kit Reaver. For those of you that don't know, Kit Reaver and I have had a 7-month feud at XWE in Salina, Kansas. We've been holding down for matches, craziness from 6-man blowouts to fatal 4-ways to tag matches to battle royals. 7 months. Kit Reaver had this championship. And for 7 months, for whatever reason, I couldn't get it off him. I couldn't beat him. I'll be honest with it. Whether it was Kit knocking
He defended this SOB everywhere. I gotta give it to Reaver.
Everywhere. He did, man.
Everywhere.
But here's the thing with mine and Kit's rivalry, especially. Like, Kit would knock out the ref, shut out Pinky, knock me out illegally, turn around and
mess up Pinky's other eye.
And count Pinky's hand while it's limp. Like, is that a clean win? No.
Well, but you heard what Jonesy said earlier.
A win is a
you
win.
heard what he
like
said.
I said, he kept the belt. And then we have this epic. And if you can, man, look this match up. This match is, to date, probably my most special match.
XWE on YouTube and Facebook, y'all.
Yes.
Make sure y'all look them up.
Yes. Last man standing. Kit Reaver and I, main event. 400+ people in Salina, Kansas, in the Hotel Ambassador, a.k.a. known as the Wrestling Alliance of Kansas.
They got AC, right?
They do.
Boom, baby, I'm there.
So, last man standing. I'm hitting Kit with all I've got. I mean, I'm putting him through tables from the ring to the outside. He's hitting me with all he's got, but he can't keep me down. And to my credit,
got that stomp that he does,
does.
isn't it? It's pretty devastating.
And to his credit, I can't keep him down.
All right.
So what's this fool resort to? Duct tape. Duct tape. This fool duct taped my ankles together, duct taped my wrists together, so I physically could not stand up. And I still made
a mob hit on you.
Right?
What?
And I still made it to my knees, although couldn't make it to my feet. But needless to say, showed up PCW, took care of business when he wasn't expecting it, and here we go.
So you took it from him at Prairie.
I did.
Very nice.
I got wind through the grapevine that he was feeling good about himself and wanted to hold an open challenge. Now, Leo D had never performed in PCW.
All right.
So I knew he wouldn't be expected.
So enemy territory, more or less.
I did. So I used my connections. I did what I had to do and got it now.
You made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Shout out Mr. Adam Pena.
Shout out Adam. Hey, real quick, we actually have a song to commemorate your rivalry with Kit Reaver. You didn't expect this.
I did not expect that.
All right, here we go. We actually have a little bit of a song for this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
All right. Enough of that.
Now I will say, going back real quick, my last little business pun I got to do here. On the 27th, I can tell you this: in Salina, Kansas, the show Renee will be attending.
Yes.
This will be on the line. I'm just throwing that out there right now to anybody watching. Not necessarily an open challenge per se, because I don't really know what the business has in store. But I can tell you right now that I will be defending this title at that show, even if it means I have to stand in the ring and commandeer a microphone and just say, "Hey, who wants to come get their ass kicked?"
Wow. And here's the deal. Like, again, just being somebody that's been watching you from afar, be careful.
I mean,
all right? And because you know that the KWA, they've got a big
reach.
So you never know.
Big reach.
You know, like Super Mex was about to be in the building last week, right? Shout out to Flex.
Yes.
Big. I know that didn't work out because of the weather. Right. But what I'm saying, like, dude, you don't know. Like, this dude could, like, you don't know who they're gonna pull out of the hat.
I would love a challenge like Super Mex. Oh.
It could be Rick Maverick.
Rick Maverick.
I remember
what?
Rick beat Kurt Gannon.
Kurt Gannon. It could be Kurt Gannon.
It could be Rick Maverick.
Rick Maverick.
Will you stop saying that, man? Jeez Louise, bro.
Honestly, any contender. It could be my boy Calvin Aldridge.
Oh.
Who you know is the #1 contender for the Metro Championship, which that'll go down May 11th. But hey, he may want to come for the championship.
I will be there too, though. So
It could be.
I
It could
know.
be the night owl.
No.
Get yourself.
What did I tell you about the back of my head? I can't, bro. I got, these kids like the expensive cereal.
Yeah.
Whenever I buy them that bag stuff, they get mad. So I got to go to work the next day. No way. I'm good. I'll leave the in-ring stuff to you youngsters. Hey, Jonesy, let me jump in because we did come in a little late. So we're going to go about another 8 to 10 with Leo, as long as he's cool with that. And then we'll hit break. Listen, man, so we like to joke and have a lot of fun and all that, but then we'll flip the script and go to something fairly serious, right? So I know just from my time watching you train and watching you work, you've had this pretty incredible ability to work well with everyone, right? Yeah. And so recently at Mania, we saw a couple of firsts, right? So we saw the first time ever that an African-American held the actual WWE heavyweight championship. It wasn't the first time an African-American held a major, big-time top championship, but the WWE title is the WWE title. Yes. So by many people's esteem, it was one of the first times and then you saw the ladies main eventing, right? Which was huge. And then, taking it back home, like Lady Pride and kind of what she's doing. So how cool is it to be of the generation? Because you're in your mid-20s, right? Early to mid-20s.
Late 20s, not 28. But
what? Okay, I saw you. I pegged you more for 26. So good job. Yeah, without that beard, you look like you're 12.
I do.
So
nobody will ever see this chin again.
I'm sorry.
Got him. Got him.
Anyway, so my question is, how cool is it? Like, you're a part of this generation that is the least segregated generation of pro wrestling compatriots that we've seen up to this point. What is that atmosphere like in the locker room when nobody's in this corner because they all look the same? Everybody's like, boom, boom, boom. And I've been in a lot of locker rooms with you. And it's always like everybody's like, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? You know what I mean? It's never like, oh, those guys are over there. The Chicos are over there. It's not like that anymore. And it's amazing. How does that feel to you?
No, I think it's awesome, especially at I call them my 2 home locker rooms, my 2 home companies, XW and KCXW. It's so not like that at all. It's such a brotherhood and a sisterhood, not brotherhood as in gender, brotherhood as in family, closeness and tightness. Yeah, there's nobody. Everybody's talking to everybody. Like you said, it's not all your Chicos over here, everybody else over here.
Right.
No, it's beautiful. And even more, something that I think is so special to be a part of, and I'm glad that I get to witness it and see it, even if I'm not hands-on with it, is even the fact that we've got Liam Power, aka Lavender Sky.
Lavender Sky doing things in this region
Have you ever
that
seen that
nobody else is doing.
Right.
And can hold his own, her own in the ring better than anybody.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I love watching it and the confidence that is just there with Lavender Sky.
Only person in this region doing that.
And it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to see. Shout out Lavender Sky. Tabby Felines, hope your face is okay. That kick was pretty brutal.
Yikes.
But love seeing that. It's just, like I said, it's love. It's brother. And then I think it all goes back to, at the end of the day, that respect factor. Because it's everybody walking into the locker room and they don't care if you're the heavyweight champion or you're the first day in there. You're going to get treated with equal. If there's work that needs to be done, I don't care who you are, go do it. Go help out. Go shake everybody's hands. Do your job. Either go get hated, go get loved. Do your job.
One way or another, make sure you do your job.
Do your job.
That's fantastic. So, I guess my last question before we move into tonight's edition in the Shoot and Shout segment is a new segment. Jonesy, were we able to get that audio uploaded that I was telling you about? That new segment that I wanted to introduce today because Leo D's in the house. Did we get that audio uploaded, yay or nay?
Let's see here.
It was
I did. It did upload.
Okay, cool. So we're debuting a segment today.
Okay.
Okay, and this segment, I actually just came up with it when I was on the toilet this morning. You don't want to hear what it sounded like. So you can already imagine how the toilet looked when I was done with it. It was bad. All kinds of holes in it.
Did you buy a new one yet?
No, it's reinforced.
Okay.
But it was bad.
Okay.
All right, so we want to do a segment, and hold on, I wrote it down. It says here that we're naming the segment "Spill the Tea with Joe and Renee." Do you know what "spill the tea" means?
Spill the tea.
How did you have tea on hand?
I'm phenomenal.
You are
AJ
phenomenal
Styles.
indeed. But your hair doesn't blow in the wind like his.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there little by little. Okay, so in Spill the Tea with Joe and Renee, we're going to ask, don't do that. That's new carpet. Okay, just don't do it here. Not literal.
I got you,
Okay. We delved into your social media.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I love
And there was something that we saw that caught our attention, and we wanted a little bit more context.
I love it. Let's go.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit the little bit of music. It's about 30 seconds, and then we'll get into it.
I love it.
Sound fair? Go
I
ahead.
love it.
Intern Timmy, you know what to do.
Hit it, Timmy.
Hit the music, baby. It's supposed to be like notifications, you know, like social media. Listen. Yeah, you hear the tweet? You hear the little tweets?
I'm so bad on Twitter.
Yeah, I
I
know
am
you got
terrible
it.
at Twitter.
I can use it.
I just need to do it.
Yeah.
I'm good
It's
on
about
it.
being snarky.
I just like to.
Just like share stuff.
I like arguing with people.
You hear that? There's the little Skype. All right, enough of that. Okay, so here it is, and I actually get to show it to you. So you got tagged.
Oh no! I'm gonna kill you, Caleb.
I know Caleb did this. Shout out to Maverick West, great young wrestler coming to the SWC.
Oh,
So
you're gonna get stretched on Friday.
I know. You better tell him. All right, so Kyle, that's him. He got tagged by his buddy Caleb, okay, Maverick West, and it was like a kind of a funny picture of a young guy stacking a bunch of monsters in his room, right beside like a soccer trophy and something else. And the context is kind of vague, so that's why we want you to explain it, and I'll show it to the fans as you're explaining. So it says, no one blank, kids named Kyle, and then kids named Kyle are stacking a bunch of monsters on their shelf next to their like soccer trophies or whatever it is. So give us some context there.
Oh, well, there's a social media movement for whatever reason with Kyle and Monster Energy specifically.
I know a lot of guys named Kyle that love Monster Energy drinks.
And during my training days, to add the shoot element to this, during my early training days, I would be that kid that walk into practice with a carbonated Monster in my hand and or in my bag, thinking that it was a good drink to have during practice. And I would have a Monster with me on the road.
Wait. I believe we have a drop for that as well.
Please do.
Go! Okay, there you go.
No. So not only is the social media movement of this Kyle drinking Monster thing a thing, it actually applies to me, not so much now, but years ago. Now I'm all about the bangs and the reigns and the good stuff.
What is this bang thing?
Oh,
explain.
Man.
It ain't better than Kickstart.
It's better.
No, it ain't.
I'm gonna have.
Okay,
I'm gonna have one for you.
I haven't had one.
I'm gonna have one for you.
Okay.
Bang?
Bang is delicious. Bang is taking. If you're an independent wrestler out there, I'm sorry, Jonesy, go for it.
Are we talking about Bang energy drinks?
Yes, sir.
Those are freaking amazing.
See, Jonesy knows what's up.
0 calories?
Zero everything.
Yeah.
Zero sugar. Zero everything. It's amino acids, creatine. I should get sponsored. Bang, if you're listening. I'll let you boy. Anyways, no.
Cheap blood.
If you're an independent wrestler out there, you know what Bang's about. When you're hitting the roads, it's 2 a.m. and you still got 100 miles left.
That can be rough.
You need to pick me up. Bang is that pick me up. And you don't crash, you don't shake. Again, I'm not sponsored. I wish I were. It's not
all in time.
A paid plug.
All in time.
This is legit. Bang is what's up. And then there's a new one actually owned by Monster now, which is similar to Bang, called Reign. Similar taste, similar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Reign is delicious as well, I believe. Shout out to Momo Gio. You hooked me up on Reign.
Nice. Very nice. Even shouted out his boy that put him on game.
Yeah,
very context
yes,
to that Facebook post. We appreciate it. Everybody make sure you're following Leo D on social media. This guy is all over the damn place. Well, listen, before we let you go, we got one last bit we got to do with you.
Yes, sir.
And it is what we call, and we've been doing this since the very beginning.
Well, tell me you're trying to lose again.
No, not trivia, because I know how that went last time. And you know what? The Bears lose to the Packers sometimes.
That's true.
Not last year.
Twice this year.
What do you mean, like coming up?
Oh, yeah, watch.
But not last year.
Oh, no, you Kansas City.
Oh, wait a minute.
Week 8, Arrowhead.
I know, it's going to be crazy, bro.
Lambeau will invade Arrowhead week 8.
Are we gonna get Aaron Rodgers, or are we gonna get
you're gonna get Leo D if need be.
I'd love to see that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to close out our first featured interview of the evening with Leo D. Leo 2 Belts. Let's go ahead and get into tonight's edition of this Shoot and Shout segment. Shoot out.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those days. Want to wake up. Everybody's stuck. You don't want to go try. What you want to do? That's all about.
Traffic, so whatever. Jonesy, lay it on us, man. What's Shoot and Shout all about?
Oh my goodness. This Shoot and Shout is going to be near and dear to Renee's heart. And this is about spoilers. The greatest movie that is going to be coming out this year, the last Avengers movie,
Oh my God.
has already been spoiled a little bit by people because people have been posting all over the place, all these
You've never seen
spoilers.
it?
And I'm telling you, if you spoil this movie, I will find you, I will hunt you down, and I will do unspeakable things to you for spoiling Avengers Endgame for me. 100%. Even if they're in Kansas City, I will hop my happy ass on a plane, on a train. I'll take a taxi. I will find my way wherever they are, and I will do unspeakable things to them.
Wow.
Fucking bullshit.
Where did that come from? All right, Leo.
Joe.
Joe, catch your breath, Joe.
Oh,
catch your
man.
breath. All right, I know
I
that's hard.
follow that?
You got to follow that, bro, and then I got to follow you. So I'm feeling the pressure already, bro.
Open.
Anything wrestling related or not? It does not matter.
Oh, Pringles cans. Pringles cans.
Whoa, what?
Have you ever tried to eat the last quarter of a Pringles chip? You can't do it this way, Renee.
It doesn't
It
fit.
doesn't fit.
I got fat hands.
Especially if you've got decent sized
Yeah, I got
hands.
some. I got some big. You got
Yeah,
some big.
I got some mix as well, my friend.
My hands.
They don't fit. Pringles. Again, not sponsored. Should be. Your chips are delicious. They're magical. Whether you're partaking in some Colorado things or not, they're magical. So many flavors.
Have you had the
Hundreds
pizza
of flavors.
joints?
I've had the pizzas.
Oh my
They're good
goodness,
too.
bro.
All of your flavors are delicious. Magnifique.
Magnifique.
But the damn can.
Hey, you know what, bro? I try to do that where they slide. Wait a minute. So, but it feels awkward to me.
And then you gotta go this way. But then you have the two chips that are broken, and it
just all hits your face, dude. And here's the thing, to me, being a man born in the 80s, doing that is awkward to me. You get what I'm saying? I'm just I don't know if maybe these two chips aren't that important. But then I get ripped off. Because then you have to throw the two chips away.
So delicious.
I know, dude.
Oh, I've got two chips left.
Yeah, and you know how hard it is to rip that can apart to lick it, because like a chip bag you can lick. You know what I mean?
Just crunch them all up and then pour it. Yeah.
It's saddening.
Pringles!
It's really upsetting.
Step your game up.
No, it's really upsetting.
What is it now? 2019, and you still haven't had a new can yet?
I know, dude, but they do have a lot of new flavors.
They are so good.
I know they are so good. Well, listen, I guess it's time for my shoot and shout. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of having a hard time coming up with it. I'm having a hard time coming up with it because it's been such a great week. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. But as thankful as I am, Leo, and as much as I love people's good intentions,
yes.
Listen, I'm one of those weird guys that's always on Pinterest.
Okay.
There's good stuff on there. I know it's a little weird. Okay. Maybe I'm exposing a little bit to myself. Tell me why my wife is always tagging me and pinning diet stuff.
She's telling you you're fat, man.
I know, dog. Just say I already know that. I got a mirror right there. I got one over there. Shut up, Joe. Stop laughing. All the time she's like, "Ooh, you should really try this diet pizza. You should really try this diet salad." I'm like, listen, I already know. And you know what? I can't help it. I love tacos. I love lasagna. I love cerveza. I love horchata. I love dulces. I love everything, man. I can't help it. I got a soft head and a soft stomach. I can't. Stop tagging me on that stuff. Tag me on some new recipes so I can add more cheese to my macaroni and cheese like Trick Daddy. Like you take the government cheese and you melt it on top of the mac and cheese. That's what I need. Tag me on that. Hit me on the Pinterest. Y'all already know how I get down. That's my shoot shot for tonight, Leo. I need some.
Your wife does. You like that?
She usually cooks all this stuff too. What am I supposed to do? No. All right. Well, listen, before we go here tonight, bro, one last bit of business. We'll tell people where they can catch you in action next one more time. And just as importantly, where can they follow the Prince, Leo D, on social media?
Let me get these actual tags
Go
up.
ahead. Let's go.
Just straight up Leo D-AURIA on Insta.
IG.
Facebook, Leo D, the Prince, Leo D. Twitter.
Joe said the price earlier.
Oh. Boy.
Shame on you, Joe.
Oh, come on now.
Shame.
The Prince, Leo D. Some shameless merch plug. Whatamaneuver.com.
Bears jersey. Yes, all day. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, yes, all the socials. Facebook's, Insta, Twitter. I don't tweet as much as I need to. I'm getting on it. Fans, you want to reach out to me, hit me up on the messenger. I reply as quickly as I can. I'm not one of those talents that's just like, oh, I don't talk to fans. So hit me up. I love the love.
You're a little weird.
I'm a little weird.
Yeah.
I love the love. But in terms of where I will be at this weekend, as I mentioned earlier, I get the opportunity to travel with Derek Stone. Get to go to WLW, World League Wrestling. Shout out Harley Race, Leland Race, all those guys.
I was at Night of Champions 4.
That's awesome.
I know you're jelly.
I am jelly.
Yeah, I know.
I am jelly. Everybody in the house. And then the weekend after that is the 27th, where I think I'll be seeing you.
I believe so.
And I'm going to be bringing you a bang, so you got to try that.
Bang!
In Salina, Kansas.
I'm down.
And then my next big show, May 11th. May 11th. KCXW.
We back at the Shriners?
We are back at the Shriners.
Yes, I love that venue, bro.
Calvin Aldridge. Let's go. Calvin versus Leo 2.
You know I'm a big fan of his, too.
I love that.
I don't want you to be mad at me.
No.
But when I did the GWF thing, he got a title opportunity against Alpha Omega.
Yep.
I believe he is one of those guys that's going to take that big next step.
All I got to say is if you are a wrestling fan in the Kansas City area and you do not come out May 11th to watch me versus Calvin Aldridge,
you're tripping.
You're missing
slipping.
This generation of wrestling. Not next, not past. This
right now
generation of professional wrestling.
And who's got better hair in the business than Aldridge?
Oh, nobody.
This dude, the fro, the rose, always looking fresh.
Such a pure athlete, too. Like, I hate that I'm going to have to beat him again.
Whoa. You hear this, Jonesy? Whoa.
I love Calvin to death. Spent a lot of hours in that practice.
Not enough to let him win, though.
But not enough to let him take my baby Meddy.
Wait, you named your belt?
Oh, no. I did. Because, we've got Libby right here.
Maddie and Libby.
Libby's the OG on that shoulder.
Wow.
She wanted some friends, so we got
both
Meddy.
of these within the last 30 days, right?
That's true. So we got Libby needed a friend. We got Meddy. Calvin, you're not taking Meddy. Anybody in XWE coming up on the 27th, you're not taking Libby. So.
But that's defended throughout the whole KWA, right?
It is.
Very, very interesting. One last, very, very last thing. Very last thing. Okay. Yeah, no. It's really me, and because I really enjoy this conversation. I know Jonesy does too. So, and again, back to Wrestle Talk being Wrestle Talk. How did you feel when you found out that MEW was no longer part of the KWA? Good decision.
That's
good decision.
I can't say a whole lot else with I'll get myself in too much trouble, but I can go ahead and say that I believe that it was a great decision for all parties included.
Yeah, because from what I understand was MEW that was like, hey, we're
they
cool
wanted to
over
kind of
here.
do their own thing.
Right. And you were,
and the KWA wanted to kind of, there's a way that they run things, which is very beautiful and organic.
It works well.
It works well with all of the
Prairie, WWX.
WWX, exactly. And then XWE, they all play off of one another. And if you've got a company, not saying it's wrong, but if you've got a company that wants to kind of do their own thing, that's not really how the team unit works.
But I believe that there's still guys from the KWA that will go work. And just for clarification's sake, I think the understanding, and I talked to Brandon, and I was like, is it cool to that extent? He goes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, here's kind of like what my card's going to look like for the next show. So, so for those MEW fans who are like, oh, no, I'm not going to get to see Leo D, Kit Reaver, Johnny Rocco, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you'll still be there, which is very important.
I physically won't be there because, again, your boy's schedule's a little full.
Yeah, I know.
But, no, I'll definitely be there at the opportunity.
Yeah, well, you and Kyle King at some point.
Oh, for sure. That's one of my OG trainers.
I know. One day.
That's my dream match.
Well, listen, we're topping out right here. And I'm very, very proud of that because this is only our second time ever on YouTube. So it's a huge transition. With that said, man, let me thank you.
Thank you.
And just continue to remind you, bro, that whether you're here or not, whether you can tune in or not, whether you share or not, whether you tagged or not, you are always and forever a member of the Wrestle Talk familia. And I know when you went to Colorado, the family thing was a huge, and we can say that for the next time around.
Yes, for sure.
But I know that meant everything to you. And that's the kind of culture that we've been trying to breed here with the Wrestle Talk podcast for close to 4 years now, 242 episodes. And that's why we welcome certain guests back. And then there's certain guests that we don't welcome back that would love to be back on the show. But guess what? When you carry yourself like a gentleman, okay, and you're the people's prince, the door is always open unless baby mom's is like, nah, and then, you know, she's like a little Debo.
I think baby mom's likes me though.
No, she's cool, bro, but she's like a little Mexican Debo. Her eye ain't crooked or nothing, but she'll throw you off the bike, take the belt, and be like, they're both ours, but we keeping them here.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to break. FWWC segment coming up next. Let's go ahead and do 2 minutes and 30 seconds of break, and we'll come back with the FWWC Night Out, Jonesy, 2-belt Leo.
Jonesy.
We'll be back, baby. Peace.
Peace.
Appreciate you.
Ain't nobody really in gorilla. 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 Whoa, don't be about that shit. Whoa, don't be not that shit. Whoa, that's just not that shit. Whoa, simple for the road. Come on, be a fake. No, we ain't stepping out. What guys put this way? Whoa, go real tactic. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Go real tactic. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Whoa, don't be about that shit. Whoa, don't be not that shit. Whoa, that's just not that shit. Whoa, simple for the road. Come on, be a fake. No, we ain't stepping out. What guys put this way? Whoa, go real tactic. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Go real tactic. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Ain't nobody.
Yo, what up? Night Out. Nightmare Jones. What up, Wrestle Talk fam? Do it for y'all. Check me out. Kicking, waving the 4-4. Even them haters can't hate us no more. So unlock your door, cause we got some more. Every Wednesday we here, keeping it raw. Night Out, Nightmare Jones, and all the best guests. Like a double barrel pointed right at your chest. Wrestle Talk Podcast.com. Smashing and killing it like the night of the prom.
Oh my goodness. Leo D was absolutely amazing. I hope that you all like that great song. We are less than 5 minutes away from interviewing the one, the only Matt Tremont. And now it is time for the FWWC segment. For those who don't know what the FWWC is, FWWC is fantasy wrestling. You got fantasy football, baseball, basketball, everything else for now. You got fantasy wrestling. You can join the fantasy wrestling group. You can cut promos. You can win championship belts. We have a great time. We're all a family. So if you are interested, go to the WrestleTalkPodcast.com, click on the Fantasy Wrestling tab, and that'll get you everything that you need to know to join the FWWC. All right. Well, we wait for the night out to come back.
Jonesy, I'm here. I'm here, dude. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm back. I
Night
listened.
Out is here.
I listened to your whole introduction. You know what? We've only got a few.
You know, we had such a great time with Leo D that we kind of cut into the FWWC segment a little bit, but we're still going to try to get you guys on as quickly as we possibly can. So, we're going to bring in the first guest for tonight. This gentleman's been on hold the longest, and I don't know what's been going on with this guy, but he's been calling people peasants, and I guess he's saying that he's a king now. Tank Westbrook.
All hail the king of Blue Brand, the FWWC heavyweight champion, Tank Westbrook.
You know, Tank, it's kind of funny. You know, the Blue Brand has the king of the Blue Brand, and you also have the queen of hardcore. So, you know, it's the Blue Brand being ran by King Tank and Queen Hardcore Sis.
Oh, isn't that romantic?
I would never let her even fathom to be in my court. She is just merely a peasant. She has taken the name Queen that she doesn't belong to be using. So how are y'all gentlemen doing tonight?
Well, Tank, I have to admit, as a fan of the FWWC, I have to be honest, man. Like I wanted you to fare well at Universe Mania 5. You did. You did extremely well. You were able to take that championship from one of the most well-respected champions in the history of the FWC, the Enchantress. But now, instead of thanking the people that helped you get here, now you're expecting everyone to bow down to you. And I really don't get why. I mean, you've achieved the ultimate achievement on the Blue Brand. And instead of turning around and thank the people that helped you get where you are, you're crapping all over them. What is this even about, dude?
Why do I need to thank them? They were never there for me. Why should I thank them? Why would I even begin to hand out to my peasants? Why would the king give to his peasants?
I don't know.
They're just meekly.
I don't know if this conversation is going anywhere. So let me guess. Because you're the king, because you're so much better than everybody, Tank, that means you don't see anybody out there that's worthy of challenging you for your heavyweight championship?
Oh, I'm just waiting to see somebody who might be even remotely close. You see, we had El Luchador de Caca on Monday, and I told him he would be bowing down to me. And did you not see at the end of our match, I made him bow down to me and respect me. See, I was told by my GM, Curtis Black, that he is working on next week's, card for us to fight. And I'm going to help them out. I'm the king of the Blue Brand, and I will have respect given to me. There's someone who goes by the name of Hardcore Sis, and that, like Nightmare Jones says, that she is calling herself the queen. Well, in my court, you are not the queen. You're just a measly old peasant. So I want Hardcore Sis this Monday.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We'll have to talk to Curtis Black about that. Thank you for joining us, man. And we're very excited. I was really excited to know that you were the new heavyweight champion. But I mean, to be honest with you, as impressed as I am with your ability in the ring, your attitude is really kind of disappointing. I really thought that you were going to be one of those guys that was going to appreciate the opportunity. And Jonesy, I don't know how you feel about this, but Tank is starting to sound like one of the members of La Familia.
See, now I'm trying to be nice, and you had to talk about La Familia. I am trying to be nice. Tank has nothing to do with La Familia. Tank hates La Familia because, well, to be honest, La Familia doesn't want Tank Westbrook. But that's neither here nor there. I'm trying to be civil because you're always talking about how I turn into a different person and
It's
how
true.
I take over. And, I'm trying to be a nice person. So let's go ahead and bring in the...
Wait a minute. I know there's a caller that's been waiting longer than this man. Okay? And here's what I want you to do, intern Timmy. I want you to go to the FWWC backstage chat, and I want you to tag Savior Saint and Marcus Mayhem for me, and let them know that no matter what they do, they need to listen to this interview that's about to happen with the Battle Cat, because I got something I want to get off my chest. And I want to get this off my chest as we wait for Matt Tremont, hardcore legend, former multi-time CCW champion, current promoter of HO2, I'm so sorry, and one of the guys that you will see on a frequent basis over at GCW, Matt Tremont. The Bulldozer will be joining us in just a minute. But before we get to him, I want to bring this man on because we have a history, and it's not always been a good history. And it's a man that resides in the deepest dark of the jungle. I'm talking about the former triple champ, the Battle Cat.
I was going to say, what the hell is HO2? You had me thinking for a minute until you corrected yourself.
Well, it's a promotion called HHO, so it's H2O. But anyway, we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Battle Cat, I just really kind of have a bone to pick with you. And a lot of people in the FWWC are going to kind of like go, whoa, here we go. But I can't help myself, okay? I just really can't. And you know how I am, and you and I have had these run-ins in the past. I like to do it publicly so that way there's no he said, she said. Everybody knows what I said, and everybody knows what you said. And here's what I want to say, and I want your answer. Are you that big of a salty bitch that you had to shit on Savior Saint and Mayhem's angle for the 7 days of Mayhem because you couldn't manage to keep any of your belts at Universe Mania 5?
Am I salty? Is that a trick question or something?
Answer the damn question, Battle Cat. Don't rephrase my question. Answer the question.
That would be like, I don't know. Like, why was he asking that? I mean, come on. This will happen. I lost. Oh, well. It happened. I get over it. All I have to do is win it back. So, what's there to be talking about? He got me in some bogus, crazy-ass tournament where everyone has teams, and I'm just like by myself, which is okay because Monday you see what happened, right?
I did.
The victory march is going to continue. The victory march is going to continue until I get the Universal Championship back. Everyone's going to feel the wrath. Madman Joe felt it. Now, there was a bump in the road last night, but every road has bumps in them, right?
Of course.
All you have to do is go over them. And that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to go over every bump until I get my Universal Championship back. With that said, that's that.
Okay, and by the way, Battle Cat, if you have us on speakerphone, see if you can switch it over because we are having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. Yeah. But listen, here's ultimately the point that I'm trying to make, okay, with that question. you did not do well at Universe Mania 5, okay? But everyone here can agree, and Jonesy has his own problems with Savior Saint, but we can all agree that you were afforded just as many or more opportunities by your general manager on the Red brand than anybody else. You became triple champ and even had an opportunity to become a quadruple champ, right? This is all true. Even so, you lose the belts, and then Savior Saint isn't paying you the attention that you want, and he's focused on dealing with Mayhem, who you yourself have had issues with, okay? And all of a sudden, you feel like you need to interject yourself and basically crap all over what they're doing in order to get the attention that you want because you can't wait your turn. Is that true or not true?
Let me tell you like this. I make my mark one way or another. If people like it, fine. If they don't like it, then that's fine too. But either way, people are going to know that the Battle Cat is here, one way or another.
Well, you know what? I can only say this, Jonesy, and I feel a little bit bad, okay? Because I really do like Battle Cat. But it's obvious that losing at Universe Mania 5 was hard for him. And everybody deals with defeat differently, okay? We all see what Mata's doing. He wasn't able to beat me, and I wasn't able to beat him, and then he lost to Fallen last night, and he's acting like a baby and running away with the championship. I kind of feel like Battle Cat's doing the same thing. I mean, like, you've obviously got this thing with Mayhem and Saint that's going on, okay? And I know you've been watching this very closely yourself. And he finds a way to interject himself in the middle of it when it has nothing to do with him. He's talking about this is bull. The SOF is laying down for La Familia. When the hell has the SOF ever laid down for La Familia? And I hate La Familia. But don't just make stuff up because you're upset about the fact that you lost. Battle Cat, you're a future Hall of Famer in the FWWC. I'm going to be the first person to say it. But this does not become you, sir. It is beneath you, and it's embarrassing. And you should do what you do best and just keep on fighting and brushing off the losses. Because that's what you do best. All this complaining and being negative and trying to crap on other people's stuff, sir, that jacket does not suit you well. So try on another. Those are my thoughts. Jonesy, let's go ahead and bring on one more Oh, no, wait a minute. We may be out of time for the FWC. Hold on a second. Let me verify here. Because, guys, we've been promising it. We've been teasing it. We've been getting you guys excited now for not just a couple of hours since we started the broadcast here at 8 o'clock Eastern time. But really, this is an interview that I know myself and Jonesy have been looking forward to for a very long time because you guys know we're very particular with the people that we bring on. We don't just bring, whoever answers their messenger. We like to bring in guys that have a little bit of seasoning in the business and girls that have some seasoning that have been around long enough to be able to speak not only from a wrestler's perspective, but also from a managerial perspective, an owner's perspective, a mentorship perspective. And it's kind of cool, and it's really, really worked out great for us here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited, and I'm going to go ahead and let Nightmare Jones do the honors here as we introduce our second featured guest of the evening. Jonesy, why don't you go ahead and take it away, man?
Oh my goodness, I am almost too excited to do this. I've been watching this gentleman wrestle for quite some time on Combat Zone Wrestling. I've seen him go through panes of glass. I've seen him DJ Hyde. I've seen him in the Tournament of Death. I've seen him in the Cage of Death. He is doing his thing in New Jersey. He's got his own wrestling school. He is truly the bulldozer. And not only does he do all that, but he has his own collectible shop. So he's like living the life right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, let me introduce to you the bulldozer, Matt Tremont. One of the best entrance songs ever. How's it going, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We are doing good. How are things in New Jersey tonight?
Not too bad. It's a nice, cool night. Just got done a night of training class at the H2O Wrestling Center, so now I'm relaxing and chatting with you guys.
That is awesome. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is there is a lady that was trained in our area by the name of Maria Manick, and she came to you in Jersey to be trained, and you have turned her into one of the most violent ladies in deathmatch wrestling, and you actually get to face her in a couple of weeks. Can you tell us about Maria Manick?
Yeah, Maria's a tough young lady, and she was in the business maybe a year and a half when she came to me, and this was even before I opened my school. I was just doing random classes at the CCW school when it was in Blackwood at the time, and she came to me and retrained her and just told her to listen to me, trust me, and I'll guide her down the right path and provide those opportunities with hard work, and she did all that. And she's made quite a name for herself in the last year and a half, and she's doing quite well for herself. Extremely proud of her. We actually had our match against each other this past Friday at H2O Opportunity Knox, and it was a war. We beat the crap out of each other, and not just for any man or any woman, just overall. One of the toughest matches I have ever had, and she's a tough woman, and any opportunities for big things in her future, it's all because of her hard work that she put in.
Absolutely. Like I said, I've seen her wrestle in my area. My experience from Matt Tremont is watching Combat Zone Wrestling. I've seen your matches with DJ Hyde. I've seen the tournament of death when you were doing everything that you could to get into the tournament of death. But I would have to say that the coolest thing that I saw Matt Tremont do, and this is something that not very many people in the United States get to do, but you got to face Onita. That itself is a amazing thing. Can you tell us about how amazing that match was for you?
Tremendous experience. I first saw tapes as a young teenager, FMW tapes, so Onita tapes that we used to trade back in the day before streaming services and DVDs, and he was always my favorite growing up, and definitely an inspiration of mine, somebody I followed and watched. And a few years ago, one of my main goals was to get to Japan, and I'm like, what can I do to generate some buzz to get to Japan and get on the radar? And I'm like, let me call somebody out. And I'm like, if I'm going to call anybody out, I'm going to go for the big dogs. And I called Onita out, and in doing all that to get to Japan, we wound up getting him here. So I was, fortunate enough to wrestle him here in the United States, not once, but twice. And I was able to go to Japan in October of 2017, a little over a year ago, and to wrestle him here and work with him over there. Tremendous experience. Japan was a lifelong goal. Working with him was a lifelong goal, and it was great. He's like my Japanese dad now. Just saw him last week or the week before during WrestleMania weekend up at WrestleCon convention. I got to hang out with him and be with him during that time. So always good to see him. I owe him so much, and he's a good dude.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of the tournament of death, you have been you are in my opinion a legend in the deathmatch wrestling. And how do you prepare yourself for a death match? Like, how do you prepare yourself to go through ball dryer and thumbtacks and panes of glass, and how do you prepare yourself?
Well, I mean, it's changed over time. When I was younger and greener in the business and in doing death matches, I was very nervous and had butterflies and just really had to calm myself down and get into the zone. When you do hardcore wrestling, you got to go in 110%, if not, that's when you get seriously hurt. Now it's just another day at the office. I've been doing it so long. I go in there, I do my job, and give the people their money worth, and then hopefully, we're going to get banged up, but hopefully we come out alive and with all our bearings and limbs, and I go home to the family at the end of the night. But it's you definitely have the mindset of going 100% balls to the wall, and even amongst all the violence and trying to destroy each other, the dance and story we're trying to tell, still keeping each other safe, so we go home at the end of the night. But yeah, just now I dump a bottle of water on my head, I go to the curtain, and then that's when I turn the volume up and become a bulldozer.
That's right. Absolutely. All right, Renee, why don't you go ahead and step in here with whatever questions that you have, because I know that you've been itching and chomping at the bit to talk to Matt Tremont tonight.
Well, you know what? I have. And Matt, thank you for making time for us, bro. You're just coming out of a class. We know you're super busy, so we appreciate every moment that you can share with us, man. Thank you.
No problem at all.
No doubt. So as you heard me say during my portion of the introduction, I always get super excited when we get a chance to talk to guys that have been in the business, not only as workers, but have had opportunities to kind of wear other caps like you do as a promoter for H2O, which is a great name for a promotion. It sticks out right away. People immediately started asking me about it when we were promoting it. So that I want to talk to you about that. And obviously your time GCW and CCW have all been impactful. And I think that's really what any guy wants, right? Like if you go to a promotion, you want to leave your stamp on it one way or another. And you're absolutely continuing to do that through 2019 and beyond through some of your students. And I get particularly excited because, we've had guys like John Cosper on, who talk about the history of the business and playing a part in telling that story. And you continue to do that. But a lot of times it's guys like me and writers and people that end up telling the story of pro wrestling. So I guess I'm curious for somebody who may come back in 10 or 15 years and listen to this interview as research about Matt Tremont potentially to write a book. What do you think one of the biggest misconceptions of you has been during your career, especially since you've been often labeled as a death match or hardcore wrestler?
I think just exactly what you said is, that's the pigeonhole I get thrown into sometimes, because at the end of the day, a lot of my body of work is very violent wrestling, hardcore wrestling, extreme, deathmatch, whatever label that you want to put on it. At the end of the day, it's the genre of wrestling that I always wanted to do and take part in. It's my bread and butter at the end of the day, and it's why people pay a ticket to see me perform. And everyone knows me by that. And I think that's the biggest misconception with not only myself, but a lot of, guys that take part in this genre. We all know how to wrestle too. I didn't have my first hardcore match in the business until about year 3 or 4 in.
Wow.
When I was just working small local independents in South Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. I just had regular matches. But, chomping at the bit and waiting for that, first opportunity and first booking to, quote unquote, do hardcore stuff. I would definitely think that's the biggest thing. But at the end of the day, if I need to, go in there and wrestle or, have a technical match, or if I'm wrestling in front of a family-friendly crowd and they got to tone it down, I can adapt to all styles, work with anybody. And I think that's the biggest thing I can, pride myself as far as my work goes. When it's time to do death matches, it's time to do death matches. And when it's time to work a family-friendly show in front of kids and families, I can do that as well. And I enjoy getting to do, those other style of matches. And it's nice to occasionally get to wrestle, once in a while, which is very nice. It's not all the time, because at the end of the day, people see Matt Tremont to bleed and get crazy. and at the end of the day, red equals green, and it pays the money.
Exactly, and we all have families to take care of, so I can definitely understand that. If that's your calling card and that's what people want to see, then that's what you give the people. You know what I mean? That's why Razor and Nash been coming out for 20 years doing Too Sweet, because that's what everybody wants to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, you roll with it if that's what's hitting.
100%.
Yeah, no doubt. My second thing is, man, like, you've had an opportunity over your career to work with some pretty interesting people. I know just from talking to wrestlers every single week during the show, and then on the weekend when I go out and work myself here in the Midwest, there's always a couple of stories that we share with each other about getting an opportunity to work with other people that we maybe looked up to when we were coming up and learning about the businessman. Have you had any of those moments yet? Have you got a chance to work with any of your heroes or guys that you're like, yo, I'm in the ring with this dude, or we're in the locker room, shooting the shit, having a beer, me and this guy that I never thought I'd get a chance to sit next to, man? If you've had that experience, can you tell us about it a little bit?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've had quite a few. The one always that sticks out in my head. I'm an old school wrestling fan at heart. Even during the week, I'm still watching old Memphis and World Class and Puerto Rico, and I love wrestling from the 70s and the 80s. So I grew up a big Kevin Sullivan fan, Taskmaster, Prince of Darkness, whatever you want to call him. And I've worked with Mr. Sullivan countless times at my promotion and another promotion. So anytime I've been able to do the dance with like himself or other old school guys like Kevin Sullivan, you're sitting under the learning tree, and you're able to learn so much, and then at the same time pinch yourself that is this real or not? It definitely had some real moments and matches over the years where guys I grew up watching and TV or DVD or tape, and then years later you're in the ring with them, working with them. Some friendships come out of them, or some just acquaintances. But yeah, many times I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of people over the years. But Kevin Sullivan's always one that sticks out to me.
That's so dope, Joe. I know you got a smile on your face from ear to ear. Kevin Sullivan, one of our favorite guests ever. Believe it or not, he is a loyal member of the Wrestle Talk family, man. We talk to him fairly often. He was a great guest on the show, and we're actually trying to work on something with him coming back on the show because the fans demand it. Like, the people are like, yo, when are you going to get Kevin back? Stop playing. So we're like, all right, we're going to make it work. So I absolutely agree. I haven't worked with him to the extent that you have, Matt, but no doubt, I understand exactly why you're such a fan of that guy, dude. Must be so cool. Not only, I mean, we get excited just talking to him, but being able to share the ring with a guy that was there during, like, really the rise of pro wrestling, dude. That's crazy, man. Like, I'm jealous of you. You feel what I'm saying?
No, 100%, man. Yeah, that's very cool, very fortunate. The wrestling business can throw some pretty cool bones sometimes, and that was one of them.
And no doubt. Well, listen, I don't know if this is everybody's dream, but I know some of the guys that I've run into have always said, hey, you know what? When I'm done doing this in the ring, man, I'd like to be able to run my own promotion one day and do things the right way. You're one of the guys that went from being a worker full time to now being an owner and a trainer. Can you talk to us a little bit about that transition when you have to put on the business hat, when you have to put on the trainer hat? How do you make that adjustment and look at things kind of from that different perspective that's required when you're no longer focused specifically just on you and your match, but when you're looking at other guys and people that you potentially want to do business with?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was something I've always wanted to do. I mean, even as a kid, booking matches in my notebook and putting together cards. And I mean, the first match I ever had in the business was a show I promoted. So, I kind of started out, booking and promoting and inquiring with talent, putting shows together. So I knew it was something I was always going to get into, where it was part-time or full-time. Before H2O, I was with a promotion called On Point Wrestling, and me and a friend of mine ran that company that we started in 2013. But at the end of the day, it was his baby, and I was helping him. But that gave me a lot of knowledge and got to plant a lot of those seeds in the beginning to, just the day-to-day logistics of running a wrestling promotion and booking and promoting. And in 2016, I wanted to, venture off and do something on my own. And that was my baby and my concept and my vision of pro wrestling. So, came up with the H2O, the Hardcore Hustle organization. And in the very early stages of the company, it was just a part-time promotion. I think the first year we ran 2 shows. So it was nothing I'd set on doing full-time. And then the promotion started to grow, and we started to do better, good business. We started making some money, and the venue that we were running at, originally the old time wrestling venue run by Jim Molyneux, former ECW referee.
All right.
He was getting ready to move out. I was renting the building from him when I was running On Point shows and then eventually H2O shows. And he called me out of the blue one night and he said, "Matt, we're getting ready to move out." He wanted to slow things down on his end, and he said the opportunity is there to move into the venue. So, in probably 2 weeks' time, scrounged the money together to move in. And I knew if we could move in and, become a full-time, not just a, full-time promotion, but a full-time business, and move in here, start running, every month, and then opening a school was another goal as well. And, we moved into Williamstown last July. We had our first show, as under the umbrella of the H2O Wrestling Center. And, June will be our 3-year anniversary. And we launched the school this past August. Right now we have 24 students enrolled into the school. So it's a lot, wear a lot of different hats. But it's something I've, always wanted to do. And I looked at it very long-term wise. Being in the business almost 13 years and doing the style of wrestling that I do, definitely takes its toll. And I know I won't be able to do it forever. So I definitely looked at as my full-time, future in the business. I think as an in-ring performer will slow down over the years. I can put more of my time and effort into building the brand and the company of H2O, running the school, running the daily logistics of a full-time business and wrestling promotion. But I really enjoy it. Like I said, it's something I've always wanted to do, and now we're running every month. We rent the place out to other promotions to run their shows. The school's open pretty much almost every day now, so I'm pretty much living at this building 24/7, and I couldn't be any happier about it.
That's crazy, man. I can hear the excitement in your voice, man, and it's incredible for you to be able to continue to live out your dreams through pro wrestling. Before I throw it over to Jonesy for the last round of questions here, I did want to ask you being down in Jersey, in the upper Northeast, I got to ask this question, man. If you had to choose, and I'm going a little old school here, but I think you'll feel where I'm coming from. If you had to choose to go to one concert, would you go to A, an ICP concert, or B, a Jedi Mind Tricks featuring Vinny Paz concert down over in the Philadelphia / New Jersey area? If you had to choose one, Matt, which one would you choose?
Vinny Paz.
Yeah, baby. If y'all don't know who Vinny Paz is, you're slipping. You're slipping on hip-hop music. Thank you, Jonesy. Take it away. That's all I need to know about Matt Tremont. That's all I need to know. He chose Vinny Paz over ICP. I'm done.
Absolutely. I only have a couple more questions. The number one question is, we will refer to you to contact you to come on to the show by a good friend of the Wrestle Talk podcast, and that is Primetime Amy Lee. And if I'm not mistaken, she was one of the wrestlers that actually trained Matt Tremont. So can you talk about your experience of being trained by the one and only Primetime Amy Lee?
100%. Amy Lee is the best. One of the best genuine human beings I've ever met and encountered in my life. And when I first broke into the business in late 2006, early 2007, she was, one of the first trainers that, had credibility behind her. She was somebody that actually did something in the business, and, somebody that I took my first few initial bumps in the ring with. Everything that she's instilled into me as far as hard work and humility and paying dues, so on and so forth, is, everything that she taught me. I'm, just obviously one of the, the toughest, not just women in the business, but just toughest people overall that I've, ever met. A kind lady outside of the over-the-top wrestling, character that is Amy Lee, but it's, not too far-fetched from the real person, yes. But she's great overall. Learned so much from her. Always enjoy having her, whether it's an H2O show or WH2O show. She'll come to the training classes from time to time and work out with the students here. She's grade A class A, man. She's the best.
Hey, Joe, forgive me for interrupting.
And I always
Joe, forgive me for Matt. I gotta ask.
Yeah, me and DJ have had a few wars over the years, going back to my early days at CZW, back in, I would probably say, 2012. Me and him fighting. I think our feud ran almost a little over a year, probably a year and a half feud and build up to me and him finally colliding inside the Cage of Death 14, I think, in 2012. And then we had matches elsewhere, and then we revisited the rivalry a couple years later. Probably some of my most brutal, intense storytelling, death matches were with he and I. Classic matches, and ain't quite fond to me that'll stand the test of time, and always mean something to me. So like that was the feud and the matches that really made me a made man in front of the eyes of the crowd. So yeah, had a lot of fun, man. We beat the crap out of each other over the years.
That you definitely did. Okay, so Renee, do you have any more questions before we get into the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge?
Yeah, I did actually, and I got cut off last time. The thing was acting stupid or whatever. I wanted to know because, so I never heard of Primetime Amy Lee until we interviewed her, because I'm actually based out of Midwest. My man Joe's up there in West Virginia, kind of near the Baltimore area. So we talked to Amy, and I had never heard a chick like Amy do what Amy does. So I'm wondering, Matt, did any of your shit talking, because I've heard your promos, like your in-ring work is amazing, but I think you're an incredible shit talker too, and I'm a big fan of people that can talk shit. Did any of that come from Amy? Because I'm telling you right now, she's one of the best shit talkers I've ever heard in my life.
Well, 100%, definitely.
I knew it.
My promo styles, a little bit of everybody. It's a little bit of Taz, a little bit of Eddie Kingston, and definitely a little bit of Amy Lee. She's no nonsense, and she'll tell it how it is. And definitely a little bit of Amy Lee in my promos.
I love to hear that, man. Matt, thank you for your honesty. Jonesy, let's go ahead and transition in to tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. I'm just hoping that I don't get my head hit by a light tube tonight, since I have to face the man himself, Matt Tremont.
All right, so Matt, the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge is where Renee steps into the ring with you with a little bit of professional wrestling trivia. Are you down to go one-on-one with the Night Owl in some wrestling trivia?
Of course, let's rock and roll.
I'm going to get murdered. I want the paramedics on standby. Go ahead, hit the music intern, Timmy. Let's get into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge.
All right, here we go. It's on Timmy. That music. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best two out of three falls. Our contestants tonight are the Night Owl Renee Martinez and the Bulldozer Matt Tremont. In a few moments, I will ask you three questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, just shout out the answer, and the first person to win two falls will win tonight's Game Show Challenge. Tonight's Podcast Game Show Challenge category is Famous Tag Teams. In a moment, I will give you clues about three legendary tag teams. If you think you know the answer, shout out your answer, and the first person to win two falls will win tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. That's pretty simple. I'll give you a couple clues. You shout out your answer. Whoever gets 2 points wins the Wrestle Talk Podcast contest. Game show contest. It seems pretty simple. Are you gentlemen ready?
I'm scared. I'm gonna get beat up.
All right.
I feel like I'm gonna go through some thumbtacks right now, but you know what? Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Question number one. This multi-time WWE Tag Team Championship has used this three-bird rule for many years. Presently, they are having to deal with having the WWE Championship in their camp.
The New Day. New Day.
The New Day is correct. That is the answer I'm looking for. So the Night Owl has won. Matt Tremont is not on the board yet, but you still have plenty of time, Matt. Okay, question number two. This tag team is known for their European style and the Bulldog mascot, Matilda. They won the WWF Tag Team Championships by defeating the Dream Team at WrestleMania 2. One of their members was the... What's that?
Hug Foundation?
No.
Wait. The British Bulldogs. The Bulldogs.
Oh, Matilda.
The British Bulldogs is correct. Okay, question number three. This tag team was the first to hold the NWA, US, and World Tag Team Championships at the same time. They were never competed in the WWF. They won many championships under the guidance of Jim Cornette. Think of Midnight.
Midnight Express.
Rock and Roll Express.
Midnight Express. The Midnight Express is correct. Unfortunately, tonight, the Night Owl has won the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, and that's not something that.
What do you mean, unfortunately? What do you mean, unfortunately? Homie, I had to cross the river when I was 2 years old. I came here and I defeated the hardcore champ. Okay, mind you, it was trivia. That's fine. But I beat the hardcore legend. Give me my damn music, Nightmare Jones, before I chop you in your ugly ass chest. Let me get my big. Woo!
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they say yeah.
Woo! That was fun, dude. I was nervous the whole time.
All right, so Matt Tremont, we do want to thank you for coming on to the show, but before we go, we need two things from you. We need you to agree to come back at some point so we can talk to you again about your professional wrestling career, and we need you to let all of the fans know where they can see Matt Tremont next.
I can definitely assure you that I will definitely come back on the show in the future.
Rematch. Matt, I know you want a rematch, Matt. I know you'll come back just for that reason.
I owe you a receipt.
My man, good sport and everything. I love it.
And then, yeah, man, you can follow me on social media at Tremont CBW and check out H2O Wrestling, the Hardcore Hustle organization at h20wrestling.com.
Absolutely. One of these days, I'm going to make my way up to see one of your shows because I only live a couple hours from Jonesy, so I got to make my way up there. I heard so much stuff about it, so I got to make a trip.
Awesome. Come on down.
Matt, thank you very much for being here, man. I think we're very much like you in that we're just some real cats trying to do things our way in a business that's built on tradition. So, bro, we love you. Like, we really love what you're doing. We're keeping it 100% when we say that we want you back, man. And this is a whole nother conversation. But the fact that you said Vinny and you knew who I was talking about, I swear, bro, you made my freaking night. So I'll talk to you down the road. Thank you so much. Wrestle Talk family, thank you so much. Remember, we're doing this for you guys. I got baby moms in the other room pissed as hell because I should have been over there like 30 minutes ago. So make sure you hit up the merch booth at WrestleTalkPodcast.com to show her that we're not doing this for no reason. So we love y'all so much. Episode 242 in the books. Matt Tremont, the damn legend, doing everything that he can to contribute to the world of pro wrestling that he loves so much. Leo D, the FWWC, and of course, all of our wonderful sponsors, man. Bless y'all, man. Thank you guys for taking care of us, and we will continue to work hard for you. Jonesy, say goodnight and hit me with a banger so we can close out this episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast.
All right, good. First of all, thank you, Matt Tremont, for agreeing to come on. You've been amazing. We're definitely going to be in contact to get you on again. Thanks, everybody, for coming on, for listening to the show. Leo D for coming on. You guys are amazing. We wouldn't be able to do the show without you. So, Matt, I hope you have a very good night, sir.
You too, brother. Thanks for having me on. Take care, fellas.
Great. Peace.
No problem. Peace. All right, here you go. Break song. We'll finish song.
Ain't nobody really in gorilla. Ain't nobody really in gorilla. I say, ain't nobody really in gorilla. Ain't nobody really in gorilla in the day. Whoa, don't we about accident. Whoa, don't we about accident.
YouTube, thank you very much for being here. If you hit this link via other social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, thank you very much. Look, we're going to do more work on YouTube moving forward because it's just way easier to use than Facebook, just to be honest with you guys. So please subscribe. It's important that we hit 100 subscribers so that we can actually start getting this podcast out to more people. We're covering the Midwest. We're covering the upper Northeast. We're covering the globe in a different way than any other podcast out there. And it takes a lot of work to have the content ready for you guys every single week. So if you can, continue to support in any way. Sharing is the easiest, quickest way to do that. And then, of course, we've got the razors, the beer mugs customized, available for you guys on request. Just hit us up, and we'll do our best to serve you as the loyal members of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. The Night Owl, Nightmare Jones, Tremont, Leo D, the FWWC, and everybody in between. We love y'all. Grace and peace. And by the way, we got some big things coming up. We're with my man Jay Hollywood. Woo! It's going to be a good summer, baby. So y'all put on that suntan lotion because it's going to get hot in her. Ha ha. Good night, everybody. Peace.